Good evening. Welcome to the Deltahead stream. I am James Howell, and tonight we're picking back up with Part 8 of Resident Evil 4 Remake. And missed last week, had some life stuff going on, but hopefully we can make a good charge forward on this tonight and not get so caught up in RE4 that we go to like 10 streams of it. Which, if we do, that's fine. It's a great game. But for the sake of the stream, I'm ready for stream activity to start catching up with my own interest in the game. Let's see. Pardon me. There we go. And no pregame show tonight. Have not had time to prepare much. Just needed to get going. But I do have some fantastic El Santo movies to share with you at a later time. El Santo and the Martian Invasion is easily my favorite among them, for a variety of reasons. One of which being it has the weirdest escalation of Mars-Earth relations that I've seen in any alien invasion movie. And the other, which I watched recently, which is Santo versus the Vice Mafia, where his moral compass becomes a little grayer in terms of what he's willing to do to get the job done. And so that's it's neat. Evening, Dan. It's good to see you. How are you? I am tired. I'll tell you what. Let's make sure that we're going to get audio out of this. Yeah, there we go. Good, good. Yeah, how are you? Load game. Yeah, this is it. I think we saved right before Krauser, if I'm remembering right. Luis should still be alive. And yeah. So I straight up have not played this since last stream. So my hands are currently have the muscle memory of Tears of the Kingdom. So we'll see how that plays out in getting used to the control scheme again. Hey, evening, Space Hamlet. It's good to see you. Oh, are they speedrunning it on GDQ? I noticed they had RE4 as their game for tonight. How are you, Space Hamlet? How are you dealing with the wildfire smoke on the East Coast? Welcome to it. Yes, yes, Dan. That's right. That's the way it goes. I'm very sorry that you're having to deal with that. Do I have treasures to sell? I can make something out of this. But I want to use that for a crown. So I'm going to save on that. Yeah. Yeah, hunkering down's the way to do it. Do you have air purifiers running? Rip Lewis. Or Luis. I recommend the air purifier route. It has it has made life bearable and also helped. I have some light asthma that gets very aggravated when the air gets polluted. Right now we're in the yellow, according to airnow.gov, which I think is just barely in the yellow. So, you know, I wouldn't go for a run exactly, but it's not as bad as what you're dealing with.
In that case, you better get serious.
Evening, Squimmy. Excuse me. Good to see you. Wonder how many people get the Don Quixote reference. I don't think he actually outright says, I'm referencing Don Quixote, which is kind of the level of transparency I would expect from RE4, but they just kind of let Luis run with it.
Made it all this way. You know it means we're almost...
Almost what?
I mean, you can't time that any better.
Long time no see, rookie.
No. Excuse me. The air purifier does not, doesn't really hit the utilities bill very hard. It seems to be a very light electrical pull, and it is essentially a fan that is pulling air through a filter, and the structure of the unit is designed to, the unit structured to hold two different kinds of filters that get large particles and then smaller ones. So, yeah, if you have a fan running, it's about the same draw. Evening, Shogi. It's good to see you. It is just a flesh wound, indeed. Aren't they all just flesh wounds in the end?
We are just getting started, rookie.
Alright.
Are you being controlled by that cult?
This has nothing to do with them. I'm a free man who made a choice.
How did that hit?
Major, you're not thinking straight.
My mind is clearer than it's ever been. Now show me what you got.
Soldiers like you. Why would you work?
Well, what am I doing here? I like to think that Leon is going to stop in the middle of this and just chomp on this fish and, like, finish this sentence with his mouth full.
Freaks.
Ah, okay, so...
Have you forgotten what happened 2 years ago?
Operation Javier.
Alright, well, there we go.
What a waste.
Well, Shogi, this is the sort of knife fight that it's like, you know, Raiden's high-frequency blade. It's the kind of knife fight that prohibits guns.
Are you being controlled by that cult?
This has nothing to do with them. I'm a free man who made a choice.
Major, you're not thinking straight.
My mind's clearer than it's ever been. Now focus and show me what you got. Kill us all. Without water. Without power. Only devastating power. What's wrong? Myself.
Krauser.
Just like I taught you.
I can understand. What happened was unforgivable. But that doesn't give you the right to hurt innocent people.
You're still a kid.
That's my duck.
Holding on to fantasies of what's
So yeah, still really missing the GameCube's big flashing QTE prompts, especially since it really is a crucial part of doing this whole sequence. Like, it's funny, like, they put the QTE prompt down on the HUD, and they designed the HUD specifically to be minimal so you don't have to look at it. So, like, it's doing the wrong thing in the wrong place. The wrong size. Alright, 1 second. Well, Shogi, I think, I mean, forest fire season started on the East Coast for sure, which is where a lot of these folks are. Yes, as Swimmy said. I wonder. So, I mean, we had a really bad fire season a while back where we got the forest fires from Canada and we got a lot of the wildfires from California. So, our smoke wasn't pure forest fire smoke. We had a lot of building material ash and the like coming down, which I understand is its own sort of different hazard.
Controlled by that cult? This is nothing to do with them. I'm a free man.
I actually can't choose my gun here. Leon's in it.
Not bad.
Major! You're not thinking straight.
Oh, my mind's clearer than it's ever been. Focus! Show me what you got!
Soldier like you. Why would you work for these freaks?
Why? Have you forgotten what happened 2 years ago?
Operation Javier?
They killed us all. Without water, without mercy. Only devastating power. What's wrong with wanting to save from my son?
Krauser!
Too slow.
I can understand. What happened was unforgivable. But that doesn't give you the right to hurt innocent people.
You're still a kid, holding on to fantasies of what's right and wrong. What's wrong? Not being too steady. Sloppy.
Shit. You don't leave me with much choice.
Chit-chat, rookie.
Alright, well that turned out okay. In the end,
Enough play, rookie. You haven't changed a damn.
oh man.
What a disappointment.
Yeah, Dan. If you have a good cozy set of rituals, a set of cozy rituals, forest fire season is a pretty good time to bring them out. It's probably the same sort of rituals you might use in winter if it's just horribly cold and you don't want to head outside.
Go there.
Those help. Yeah, Swimmy, the first year that I moved here, but the first summer I was in Seattle would have been 2017. And they were like big goose flakes, goose feather flakes coming of ash coming down. This is a nice sort of old stink big boss moment.
I led a pretty shitty life. But now, eh?
Nice detail on the smoke coming back out of his mouth.
People can change, right?
And maybe even a little bit coming out of his nose. Indeed it can. And that actually on the front of wildfires, I can scarcely imagine still smoking cigarettes, and under these circumstances, that would just be truly awful. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I've thought about that too. It's like, I mean, what do I want him to do? Like, I don't know how he would get it out of there.
You were a fine night, Don Quixote.
You know, that would be an interesting ranking of Resident Evil characters, in order of who has the lowest criteria for am I going to leave the body of a friend behind. Like, I don't want to carry him to an elevator versus I'm being attacked by monsters. You know, those different situations. I believe it, Dan. Alright, so what have I got here? I need to make some bolts, but I need the large thing. Yeah, I caught something... Pardon me. I caught some sort of cough a few weeks ago that has been this sort of like lingering, drawn out sort of affair for the past like week or so, and the last thing that I want is some sort of smoke, wildfire smoke to re-aggravate it. Sounds just miserable. Yeah, there's an image from the wildfires of that sticks in my head of people playing golf on a course, and in the mid-distance is an entire mountainside on fire, and it does look unreal. It does look unreal.
Thankful.
Bad time. Bad timing. Bad timing. Like, you kind of figure this guy's, like, spent a long time thinking that one up and is just ready to break it out the second he hears footsteps coming down the hallway.
Good as new.
Alright. Still gonna save.
Come back anytime.
And... did I forget any treasures? Alright. So... there are a couple in the mines. Can I not go back? I'm curious. God, I can feel my shoulder popping out of joint just watching that. No, it is true. I hate forests, and I love fires. So that those two things in combination, by will alone. Let's turn the course of events. Alright, looks like I can't go back and get those treasures, so... nuts. And I just saved over my backup treasure save. Oh well. Another time trophy. I used to really hound just like completionist gameplay playthroughs. And I think now, like, man, is it just like a lack of time or a lack of interest? But I think the number of the criteria needed to actually do a completionist run, that's it's grown so much since the time I remember doing a lot of that stuff, that it's now just become unwieldy and unreasonable to expect myself to get the same result out of a game. So it's all good. Oh, good! I actually just finished Book of Lamentations. Funnily enough, it is excellent. It is excellent. It's I am very eager to know what you think of it. All right, so we're going to the throne room. We're gonna get that treasure, and then we're taking this tram over to the next area. I hear fluttering? Or is that my own stuff, my own equipment jingling? yeah, I'd love to know what you think. Which edition did you get? I got the Penguin paperback edition. Do I have... I do not. I hear little parasites in there, and I want to throw a stun grenade in there to just kill them straight off. So I'm going to go back to Merchant and buy some large crafting supplies. Well, thank you, Mexican Sting. Very much appreciated. How are you? I think it's been a little while since you've been able to make it out to the stream. So that's interesting, Dan. I consider it. There are aspects of it that are magical realism.
Got a selection of good things on sale, Stretch. Better to be over.
There we go. I have read assessments that say it is not magical realism, but I do not believe that for 1 second.
Pleasant travels.
It accomplishes many of the imaginative feats that magical realism does, even when it doesn't, use the sort of like mythic, sort of like imaginative bleed over into the material world of the story. With some very clever time jumps that are the time jumps that are involved are consistent, and so they're easy to follow. But anyway, I won't spoil too much for you. But yeah, it does enough that I think that it could be described like that. Oh. Well, now I don't quite know what to do. Wait. There we go. See, can I hit you through there? There we go. All right. Oh, wow, that is big. Esther Allen, let's see here. Hold on a second. I should still have it. Oh. Right here. As a matter of fact, I do. Moving to LA is big. Do you have a place all set up and everything? Yeah, Esther Allen. Man, this is one of the most low-key bios. Esther Allen has translated a number of books from Spanish and French. Like, that's it. That's Allen's entire bio. If there's anything about her in the back. Yeah. Nope, that's it. So, thank you, Allen, for your work. Evening Arc, it's good to see you. I haven't been to LA in many years. And I don't think I can say that I've been to really LA proper. What? How did you get past that? Mainly it's been Burbank. that I've been to, which I understand is not what some consider proper LA. But I liked it. Okay, I saw on my map that there are some bolts here. Whoa! That's huge. Congratulations. Can I ask what kind of car it is? I'm not a car guy, so it might not mean a whole lot to me. But if it's your first, I'm curious what you settled on. Now I bought the very first car that was new. The very first car that I ever owned that was not given to me by somebody or a hand-me-down, I bought back in 2019. So, I had the good fortune to have people who were upgrading in my family at different times. So, never actually had to go out and buy one from a dealer, but that changed then. '98 Camry with low miles? That's good. It's good.
I'll be taking this.
Never had a Camry myself, but we had Camrys in my family for many years when I was growing up, and they're solid vehicles. Actually, if I'm remembering right, doesn't Sumio Mondo in oh, bless you, hen. Doesn't Sumio Mondo in Flower, Sun, and Rain have a Camry that he loves? That seems right. There we go. That'll sell for good. Alright, so let's use brown egg.
That should do it.
Oh yes, I'm very glad they put this in here. Though, interestingly, so this posture, right? Of course, this is like the same camera shot and posture that Leon does in Sadler's Throne in the original. When Hector, the protagonist of Castlevania: Curse of Darkness, whenever he sits in a chair, like a save chair, this is the posture he takes too. And I'm wondering, is that like a reference to something? Is there some sort of like proto sit pose, kind of like there's that Saturday morning cartoon anime character who did the thing like behind her hand, and that's now like everywhere with goofy femme fatales in some media. So I'm wondering if that is that just a cool guy pose, or is that some cool guy's pose that is being aped? Is my question. Pardon me. Excuse me. Interesting. Well, Hector, they do something very cute with Hector. So he's got the cool guy sitting pose for most of the chairs that he sits in. Ah, Jesus Christ! Ah, they got me. They got me. I just want to get through this door and leave. I don't want to fight any of you. Cool. Good enemy placement. They're clearly not just enemies that I left unkilled, but they were placed in camouflage, so that's good. Now I need to I've only been without a car in a few instances, and
I see you took care of a request. Well, well done. You've proven yourself reliable.
just living if you live in sort of semi-rural areas, like not having a car just really isn't an option if you want to get to like have like a life. Because there's no really no public transit out there, and you do need to go into town. It sounds very melodramatic, but that's kind of what it would be if you were on foot. You need to go into town to get groceries and shop and things like that. So that's always I've always had the mentality that's a necessity. Yeah, one of my criteria for where to live has often been like,
My back is killing.
if it is a,
Years
please
haven't been kind
stop
to us.
talking to me.
Good instinct, stranger.
What was I saying? Yes, it is.
Ruby's all rubbish.
Please stop.
Come back any
Stop
time.
talking to me. One of the things that has always been a criteria for where I live is this going to be 30 minutes or less commute one way to work? Because for me, like once it hits like minute 25 or minute 30, it's pretty reliable. That's when my patience for the drive is going to start to drop, and either I check out completely and then I show up to work checked out, or I'm really irritable and I come back home irritable, and neither of those are states of mind that I like to be in either of those locations. So, but yeah, working from home has been a game changer as well. I really dig it. Evening, Paul. It's good to see you again, man. Conan the Barbarian. Is that the Arnold Schwarzenegger one?
Welcome. Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger. That's good work, if I do say so myself.
All right, now. Sell this, sell this, sell this, that.
I'll buy almost pleasant.
Now let's inlay some gemstones. Cool. That's a good dollar or two. Oops, wrong. Let's see, what's the price difference if I... That's 4,000 pesetas. I can multiply that better elsewhere.
Welcome. What can I interest you in? Stranger, come back anytime.
Alright. Time to take the trolley.
There's the clock tower. Hang in there, Ashley.
Apple, did you do like networking work? I want to say, I feel like we talked about this. I feel like when I was getting my CCE and T, we talked about networking work. Am I remembering that right? I still have my old Cisco switch that I use to practice on for those tests, and that would be a lovely thing to get back into. I really enjoyed that. So we are on the hardcore difficulty. Yes, good.
You are nothing. If
Oh,
not
cool!
guilty,
Congratulations.
Kennedy. However, I'm afraid it ends here. Expel this intruder.
Shit.
How did any of those not hit? I'm so much worse at aiming in this one. There we go. Oh yes, Shogi. That is one of the things that, besides the fact that, you know, besides the enjoying the performance aspect of it, one of the things that keeps me coming back to streaming is that the folks who show up are really very smart and benefit me to engage. So I always count myself richer for it. Yeah, Apple's a very smart person. I mean, the thing about a knife is you can swipe, right? Oh, yeah. He also needs a suplex. What the? Oh, that's horrifying. Yeah, the messiness of controller aiming is. I hear that aiming with the mouse is a superior experience. I just don't. The carpal tunnel in my hand will not allow that. I am excited for the VR mode. But which VR is that for? Is that PSVR 2? Oh crap! Right, this nonsense. All right, so next go around. Well, I mean, RE7 VR was exclusive for PSVR, so it has happened before. Ah! Wait, the explosives on the back of the head. What do you mean? On the Salazar statue? Wait, what? Wait, let's like shoot. What? I have never seen that before. Alright. Oh my god! I did not know that existed! That's great. Oh, come on, I parried that. I call foul. Ah! Very aggravating. Give me the big flashing GameCube controller prompts. Oh, actually, yeah, I just didn't have time to throw it together. It's a toss-up at this point between, it's a toss-up at this point between El Santo, versus, in the Martian invasion, or, El Santo versus the Vice Mafia.
You really know how to make someone feel
What? Both of which are stellar for different reasons. I think versus the Martian invasion is probably my favorite out of all of them. It has the weirdest escalation of Martian-human relationships that I've ever seen, and it is remarkable because, you know, in many settings, the fact that, let's see if I can just run through here. Oh, crap. That's... I thought I'd run past them already. In many situations, it is, you kind of just have to accept the rationalization that, yeah, okay. So, versus these ghosts, versus these smugglers, versus these X, Y, and Z villains, yes, these problems can be solved with wrestling. But at the very premise of Martian-human conflict involves wrestling, so it somehow works in a way that doesn't feel rationalized, because it's right there at the base. It's very special to me. And Santo versus the Vice Mafia has, speaking of magical realism, Dan, it has one of the most strange and reality-bending integrations of live musical performance with a musical video where it is not entirely clear if Santo is existing in a reality independent of the music, as we often think music video, you know, acting is. You know, you don't get the sense in, like, Smashing Pumpkins 1979 that the kids in that video are listening to the song 1979, right? That's the nature of a music video. But there's like this weird both that quality plus being around the musician that happens in Santo and the Vice Mafia, completely tangential to the plot, but one of the strangest sort of like ways of handling music in a movie I've seen. So, all very good. I think there's oh man, how many Santo movies? I think it's like 50, something like that. I think they made them like a once every couple months. I beg your pardon. Okay. We're just gonna load in with that, huh? Okay, so that's my counter. Weird way of handling a scythe, but Leon do Leon.
Really know how to make someone feel broken.
There we go. Oh yeah, Swimmy, I wanted your thoughts on something. So I'm thinking, in my copious free time, about maybe picking up a game that's pretty easy to speedrun. I started doing Ninja Gaiden 1 on NES, and enjoyed I enjoyed that. It felt nice to revisit a game that I really like. Yep. Enjoyed feeling pretty clever. Squish. But never stuck with it. I wanted to know if you had a suggestion. You and Ark are also y'all are the two most speedrunning people I know. Yeah, something where the speedrun itself might last about, I don't know, half an hour at most, 15 to 30 minutes. Yes, Shogi. Likewise. There is the biggest, the most damage that backflip does is to morale. Frankly. Like, you know what? I'm just not gonna deal with that. Please be a safe place. Cool. Come on, do it! There we go. Like, I'm really glad that they set that up immediately and didn't, You could just watch him get squished in the background. Yeah, anyway, I'm really glad they set that up immediately for immediate payoff instead of having to wait and use it in, like, an Easter egg moment. Very good. Mega Man 2 is good. Mega Man 2 was a favorite. I remember renting that serially when it came out. It's really less a matter of the spikes, Shogi, and more of the color of the paint on the balls. That you know. HOA, I think, is less concerned with private structures and more public aesthetic. Yeah. Yeah, the days of renting things like that are in the past, unfortunately. Unless as anybody who frequents the stream knows, I am a big fan of Scarecrow Video, where I rent a lot of physical media. As a matter of fact, oh yeah, Dan, we've talked about this before. This is one of the current ones on deck. Bob Le Flambour, which I'm guessing is, I don't know what Flambour means. I thought it was arsonist because of flame. But apparently he's a gambler of some kind, so maybe it doesn't mean anything like what the any kind of cognate suggests. I also have, let's see, what is this? Yeah, I've got Viva la Raza, The Legacy of Eddie Guerrero, which is a 3-disc set of Eddie Guerrero's career in the U.S. after his, with his entry into, I think, WCW, all the way up to his death. Just an amazing, amazing performer. That and a big old set of El Santo, Blue Demon, and Mil Mascara's movies. I think the one right now is... Oh, I don't remember the name of it, but it's the one where they all die. It is literally the last movie that El Santo made, and it is implied that he gets killed in like a nuclear explosion, I think? You know, go big, right? Yeah, no, so I do enjoy having the ritual of going to rent physical media.
How thoughtful.
Oh. Alright. Oh, come on!
You don't give up, do you?
Is he dead? Yeah, he's dead. Well, better put a fish on that.
Sorry, let's take it.
I don't think I've ever heard the strings in the soundtrack to this before. How am I not hitting it? There we go. Let's make some of these. And some of these. Another fish. Oh no, let's just... How did that go through his robes? No. I say no, sir. Let's see. Alright, he's dead. Good. Cool.
Give me a break already.
Is that a... That is an ammo... That is a shotgun ammo box. Can I get up there? Okay. Oh, wait. No, someone's still trying to shoot me from down there. Maybe this is a bad place to hang out. Yeah, no, the Melville journey continues. I watched Un Flic, which was good. At the guy who plays, I think, Alain, Allain. I don't remember his first name. He played Corey in the Red Circle. Really, really good, expressive actor. Very kind of sort of like very intent, masculine energy. It's really really cool to see in that noir context. Yeah, no, I'm really digging Melville. It's somehow weirdly warm in its bleakness. Yeah, I think it would be neat to do a speed run, and I don't know. I'm not enough of a community. I'm not part of a community enough that I think that I would sort of be able to represent any kind of game on like a charity like GDQ. But that would be a fun thing to take part in.
Ashley.
Especially since GDQ is a very special sort of, twice yearly event for me. It would be nice to take part in something like that.
That son of a bitch.
Let's switch scopes. Boop. Boop. Good. So I watched a CV3 run sometime back, and the hidden staircase skip is just mind-boggling. It's nuts. There we go. Oh, Shogi, that sounds awesome. How far high up on the East Coast? Because there's a lot of it. Only East Coast I'm familiar with is the South Carolina and some North Carolina beaches. Everybody who goes to visit South Carolina always goes to Myrtle Beach, and I'm always much more an advocate of Edisto Beach over Myrtle. A little rockier, a lot more shells if that's your thing, and generally quite a bit quieter. Maryland, okay. Well, that is. I don't know anything about Maryland's beaches, but that's like kind of Virginia-ish, right?
Welcome. Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger. Good luck to you.
I don't have the map in my head of where they overlap.
A deal well struck.
The Leopard. Yeah, no, I would love to see that. Elaine DeLong, that's right.
Valuables won't do you much good in the grave. Well then.
No, Shogi, I understand that.
Any leftover errands before going this way. Be ashamed to live the rest of your life wondering, what if? Am I right?
This guy's giving some awfully heady advice for how well we know each other. Alright, Swimmy. I have 2 gold eggs. Let's just arrange this right now so we're clear. These are no longer healing. These are no longer going to belong in the healing items. These are weapons of choice. Oh, I didn't mean to mix those together, but whatever. These are my grenades versus Salazar. Yeah. No, that makes sense. You gotta watch out for yourself. You gotta protect yourself for sure. Do I have a submachine? Not on this save file. And laser sight, which I hold on to, even though I don't have a gun that uses it. Okay. I feel good about this. Alright. I've never killed him with 2 eggs before, so this is going to be a first. I'm actually really curious, since I have 2 eggs, if it's going to reload. Here, let's go ahead and save now. Yes. It will not let me register an egg shortcut. All right. Here we go. I do miss from the item screen of the original being able to see Leon equipping the weapon there in the menu and his confident, plucky tossing of the egg. I miss that, but that's what we're walking into this fight doing.
And so, I have delivered the girl to you as promised. Do tell our Lord to not forget the loyalty of his servant, Ramon.
Krauser clearly has no time for this.
Ashley!
Such a fool, Mr. Kennedy.
I like how Salazar's never surprised that Leon is still alive.
You vulgar, utterly uncivilized mongrel.
Never a "why won't you die" kind of thing.
Allow me to show you the power I've been granted by my master, the power of God. The stage is set for the final act. You are nothing but an extra in my script, Mr.
Did I miss that? Did I whiff my egg? Oh no, we're all right. Here we go. There we go. That's not. That is not how this is going to play out. I did not just practice on his portrait for nothing. All right.
And so, I have delivered the girl to you. Are nothing but an extra.
There we go. Man, between the back of the head explosive trick and this, Salazar is probably the easiest, most easily has the most easily cheesed. What would I call them? Visages? I don't know. Heads? Brain molds? I am intrigued that between the monocle of the predator alien like monster, Salazar's lip gloss, the Big Cheese's false eye, I just am collecting cosmetics of each boss as I defeat them, and
No time.
So macabre, but I'd be here for it if it was like if you didn't sell them, kept them in your inventory, and just made some sort of goofy doll that was that was just the sum total of all of the cosmetics of every villain that you slew over the course of this campaign. Excuse me. Bye-bye, castle. Leon just leaving these, like, centuries-old cultural artifacts behind ruined.
Krauser. Where do you think you're taking her?
Alright, Apol, have a good night's sleep. It's great to see you again. Talk to you soon. Ah!
Not bad, right?
Ah! Come on, Leon, it's just a rifle. It's not like it's an egg. Which is the least wieldy weapon a man can bring to a fight. Anything over here? Nope. That's all good. Oh my god. There we go. Much better that run through. See, did I miss anything back there? No, that's all good.
Perfect. Won't have to swim after all.
Anything over here? Nope.
Ah, damn it.
Looking for something?
There was an Eddie Guerrero name drop during the Mario Maker 2 relay race at GDC, and I was very pleased for that. And that actually had hit the amount that I had intended to donate, that I budgeted for it, a few days prior. But when I heard the Eddie Guerrero reference, I was like, all right, you get $20 more. You get $20 more. So I enjoy Eddie. He's got the speed, and very savvy with reversals, which are two of the things that I value about Lucha. But he's also able to sort of like keep the same kind of ground game that I associate with a lot of sort of U.S.
Looks like you've got something to say.
U.S. wrestling.
I have something to ask you. But I
So
don't think I'll
he's
understand.
he's unique, and I really enjoy him. Oh, did I say GDC? I meant GDQ. I was at GDC this year.
You know, after the incident,
Excuse me. I was at GDC, but I meant GDQ
trying to
was
save one
the
person,
name
how
drop.
others die. I guess I changed too.
You. Leon S. Kennedy. You haven't changed. You just think you have.
So here's my question. Have you changed, Ada? Or are you just trying to use me again?
What do you think? We're here.
Shogi, are you still in games? I forget. I remember we had talked about this a while back, and you were sort of
See you later.
on the fence as to whether you would still do IT in games or just IT generally. And if you don't want to answer that on stream, that's perfectly fine. So
Ashley.
these laser turrets, I always keep thinking that every time I play through, I keep thinking I can use them more strategically than I wind up doing.
Look at all these busy bees. I better watch my
But it
step.
seems like the ideal use for them is just to create this corridor that you can run through safely, rather than use them as a trap to lure enemies into.
Let's avoid those. Need to hurry.
Let's see if I can get a treasure map.
I've got some new welcome. I've got something new for you, mate.
Treasure map village, treasure map castle.
We
Oh, okay, so I do have the treasure map for the island.
Killer man, they do it all.
Alright, so that's there.
Your valuable
That's there.
do you much good in the grave.
Yeah.
A deal well struck. Good luck to you, stranger. Anything else I can help you with? Why not try your hand at a new gun, stranger? Might save your life.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry. It's been a couple of months since we talked about this, so I forgot that that's where you are. I'm glad that you were able to find a situation there that had a good work-life balance. Oh my god, I'm so close. I'm only 1 million pesetas away. Maybe if I can sell a bunch of fully upgraded... Actually, that's not a bad idea. How much would my fully upgraded weapons go for?
I'll buy almost anything.
That could actually get me there. 5... So let's see, 3, 4, 5... 7... Yeah, if I sold sold my fully upgraded things, I could get that rocket launcher. And dare I?
Will that be your pleasant travels?
I I'm going to do a backup save in case I regret this.
Welcome.
So, let's see. I want something...
Your valuables won't do you much good in the grave.
Alright, so, get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Where does this lead me?
Stranger. Ooh, I'll pay a pretty penny for that.
Okay. Fighting knife. Oh, I don't want to give up my bolt thrower.
I'll buy almost anything. Ah, I'll buy it at a high price.
Okay. What can I sell? I don't think
Ruby's all rubbish. It makes no difference.
I'm gonna get...
Price. Well, that's our choice to make.
Ah. Please, stop talking to me.
Thank you. I'll hand this over when you've got the space.
Here we go. It's time.
Well now, time to cause some mayhem.
All right.
Wield it. Don't get yourself killed.
Can I
Welcome.
weirdly upgrade it? No, I cannot. Okay.
Hard times, mates.
All right. Oh, I'm very happy with this. No, somebody was asking me a while back, like, what would you do if you didn't do video games? Wait, what? What am I using? Do I have like some kind of a boot knife? Oh, I do. Like if I didn't do video games, what would I do? And I don't really have a good answer for that because the only thing I want to do is make video games.
Damn it.
I think it's really interesting they traded out JJ for that guy. This is great. King of the world! Oh, this is heaven. I love it. That just took like a third of my body armor. Can I shoot this thing? No. Okay, it is indestructible. Oh my god, it's so good! I love it. Yeah, you're right. Oh man, this is great. Now, so this is what's gonna get us. This is what's gonna keep us under the 10 stream limit for RE4 Remake. And I feel good about that. The other side. That's right. There we go. I feel like this is the spice that I've been wanting out of this stream series. Hmm. Oh, right. I have to do all of them. Later, Mexican Sting. It's good seeing you again, and thank you for the subs, and also good luck moving in, and congrats on everything good that's happening to you right now. I'm really happy for you, man. Same. Oh, I mean, I literally can't do that anymore. You know, family and everything. I gotta stay sane. Which is good, because the value of, you know, having experience is that you can do more work. Well, I don't say do more work in less time, but you know that you know the mistakes not to make, so you don't spend the time making mistakes. Just gonna fire one of these randomly just to let them know who's coming. There we go. You know, I've always just hit those switches along the way, and I never realized that I needed to make a corridor through there. Goodbye, barrels. Oh, that's very good. Oh, yeah, I guess this guy was here too. Cool. Oh man, now that I only have one gun that takes ammo, I probably will be getting a ton of handgun bullets, huh? You know, I was expecting the rocket launcher to be a little clunkier. I'm very pleased with how good this feels. This makes me feel like I've been rewarded for beating the game, and putting in some extra hours on an NG Plus playthrough.
rocket launcher? This isn't good.
That's great. Just in case there's anybody hanging around up here. Yeah, I'm just racking up bullets. That's great. You know, I wonder, I'm curious, if I were to sell this Red 9 and buy a Magnum instead as my only handgun, if I would get exclusively Magnum drops. Since that's the only gun I've got. Let's see, what time are we at here? Ah, yeah, that's good. This rules. Yeah, go check it out. What could it be? Wonder what that was. What was that noise? So he knocked down some treasure. I'm sure it has survived that
Like I can get in through here.
that impact.
Need to find another way.
Yeah, with the looking at the amount of money I've got, with the with all my guns out of the way, the only thing I'm picking up is money and handgun bullets. Interesting. Huh. Oh, interesting. So there's no actual collision up there. It's just all about looking good. Swimmy, you were right. Whoop. Whoops. Again, I'm impressed with how much that body armor just, like, ate. Like, that's going to be my big investment from here on out. That body armor's like 3 lives. Okay, well, I guess there are still some preset found ammo items. But the drops and the barrel and enemy drops, those are going to be streamlined.
Ashley! Ashley! Come on, Ashley, wake up! Shit! Hang in there.
Whoop. Wrong button, there we go. Like I can just whiff with confidence. Oh, Shogi, have you ever been to the the zoo in Seattle? Because I want to let you know that the farmstead part of the zoo has got some great chickens in it. I saw the sign that read domestic chickens, and I went over there thinking I was going to see the kind of chickens like I, would see growing up. And there are the chickens. They call them domestic chickens is really to set up an expectation that is defied. Some very fancy looking birds. Yeah, yeah, it's funny. Like we left the zoo, and immediately out in the parking lot, it was the crow exhibit. No. I am winning. I have the wind stick, which is the rocket launcher with a rocket in it. Let's see, is Fire Guy, Burning Man? In here? Or is that somewhere else? Yep, there he is. I feel like the jump scare is a little less powerful this run through than in the original. Mainly because he's like right there in your face when he pops out.
Oh, nothing but the fun. Welcome. Well then, what can I do you for? Crossing your T's, dotting your I's. That's the way to be. Why not try your hand at a new gun, stranger?
Repurchase. Alright. So, I want to repurchase my... Let's see, Broken Butterfly or Killer 7? Killer 7.
Honestly, this might be the only gun you...
Oh, buddy, you and I are thinking the same thing. Later, Red 9.
I'll buy it all. Thank you.
And yeah, let's buy a better knife back.
What you see is what I've got. All yours, stranger. Dazzled, are you? Our craftsmanship demands no less.
Cool.
Will that be your
Good.
comeback anytime?
Oh yeah. Good times coming. Got a rocket launcher with the regenerators. Oh, yeah. I hear it. Weird. Where could it be? Am I just... Is this just, ambient sounds? I've got a big old rocket launcher and I'm still scared of it. Okay, so I want to come here to the freezer. I truly am quite scared of these things, even with this weapon. Okay, that sounds just following me to keep me on my toes. Okay. I need the key card, which is dissection. Oh no, I'm terrible at these. Actually, if anybody is cool looking this up, I just usually just screw around with this thing until something works. Do I have my phone? I can look this up. I do not. They are trial and error. Like, I'm surprised they put, like, an actual puzzle. There we go. In one of these games.
Christ.
I'm glad they kept one of the more
Experiments are they doing?
straight up gruesome visuals from the original in this. That always haunted me. Wow. I've never played this with headphones on before, so I did not appreciate how that, the Regenerator sound effect is just, like, always with you.
What are you?
There we go. Whew. That's what I paid 20. That's what I paid 2 million for. That's right. Oh, is this where it was hanging out? So... just, cover all of my bases, and then cover them again with another rocket launcher shot. could stand to heal up. Alright, I'm going to make it out of this with at least one egg intact. This is Leon's protein run. Yes, please turn on your flashlight, Leon. Oh, no power. Okay.
Gotta switch the power over.
My body armor is at max, so if even if I eat one of these, I'll be fine. Alright. This is straight up the most frightening part of the whole game for me. Excellent. All right.
Shit, again?
All right. Whew. That turned out great.
Card override complete.
Okay, so there's something over here? Oh, Well, unless somebody in chat knows what this is, I'm not going to do it. So, next is to hit power control again, then go down here. Oh, I see. All right.
Take a look. Something found to catch your eye.
Please be less chatty. I'm very on edge. Oh, you know, I don't have a water bottle nearby, but I am semi-often encouraged to do this independently. No, I took a what? Took a big old took a drink of a big old mason jar of water with electrolytes before I started the stream, so that's my prep. I agree. Very meaty. Like biting into a really good apple. Crunch. Man, this is such a difference from my other playthroughs, at which point I'm usually being chased by two regenerators as I make my way in here. Yes. Anybody else? Alright. So there's my first less likely Magnum ammo drop. It's gonna hurt you a lot worse than it hurts me. Yes. Yeah. Goodbye. Dramatic tension. Alright, where are your treasures? Deliver them to me. Oh yeah, there's a gold bar where the infrared scope would be. Well, to be fair, it's really good body armor. As long as you've Jesus.
Keycard overwrite complete.
Yeah, that's right. Getting all those Magnum drops, that's awesome. Hammer space. Hammer space. That's that bag of holding that every cartoon character has in their pocket. I think that calm and measured might be asking a lot of Leon at this point, given how his day has gone.
Shit.
Much better on the body horror this time through, than in the first one. You know, it did have a couple of moments where in the original where you would see the little sort of like tendrils creeping along underneath Leon's skin, but they hit that more consistently in this one without overdoing it. So I think that's a good change. Oh man! So the eye patch is on the left side. Is this like a? Which side does he carry the rocket launcher on? I'm wondering if this is like a big boss at the end of Metal Gear Solid 3 using his eye-patched eye for the rocket launcher scenario.
Sorry I'm late.
No. Thank you. You brought the medicine just in time.
Can you stand?
Where's Luis?
I'm interested that, like, I mean, I understand there's probably some sort of, like, royal honey thing that they're doing with Herles Plagas to make her, like, a super host or something, with all the ritual and the black liquid and everything. But it's interesting that, like, it is just as easily deterred as Leon's, you know, prole Plagas, you know, non-royal honey Plagas.
Had a crazy hunch that you'd know where it is.
Yep, I think you're right. I think that that works out.
Read the encyclopedia.
Could you give me a boost?
You got it?
Duh.
Royal jelly, not royal honey.
I need you to open it from the other side.
Oh, I probably got to worry about hitting Ashley now, don't I?
Pretty much a master of unlocking.
That joke is older than you are.
I have something I think you like. Welcome. I got something new for you. What
That's
you
right.
see is what I've got.
Let's see.
Try that on for size.
Oh yeah.
Pleasure doing business with you. Not bad. You've exhausted our normal range of services for this weapon. If you're interested in that, don't get yourself killed now.
Like, this is actually an extremely acute man verbally who does not need to even finish a sentence before he begins the next. Oh yeah, we're gonna go through the wrecking ball sequence with the rocket launcher. Yes.
Nice shot.
Oh, yeah. Totally hit what I was aiming for. Oh, yes. I remember doing that a few times. Like, I think, like, she just, like, wants Leon to help. Like, I just rescued you from parasitic overtake in a dungeon. Why do I have to keep proving myself to you? Just be secure, Ashley. Cool. With my Magnum. When I need precise shooting.
Ashley.
Hey.
Put me down. Let me go.
Wait, where are you?
Leon. Hey, over here.
Hey!
No.
Oh. Whoops. Okay. Yes, so literally everything that I just talked through not doing, I just did. That's great. Yeah. I actually thought that Ashley would have stayed
Hold this down.
put with all that happening. That is one thing about this one, the remake that makes it a little less wieldy is Ashley has more AI, so runs the risk of getting into danger.
Hey, over here. Leon.
There we go.
Thanks.
Anytime.
Cool. Alrighty, we'll be here. Oh, yes. Is there some fairly unevenly matched weapons there? Just making sure they're dead. Jesus, that rat's indestructible. Oh, is it dead? Okay, no, that... I mean, maybe literally indestructible, but not unkillable. Sorry, rat.
Smells pretty bad. You okay?
Yeah. Before this one killed me, though.
See, there we go.
We go at the same time, yeah?
Got it.
Okay. We go at the same time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah!
Hide.
Hang on.
Kill it forever.
Jesus. Cuddly bastard.
That was very well framed with the flames. I like it. When I put this back up on the on Twitch for the VOD, I think that's the
You're not hurt, are you?
No, I'm good.
that's the frame I want.
Get that lever.
Okay. Okay!
No power. Get this for me.
Leave it to me, I'm actually pretty good at this stuff.
That using wheels. That's interesting. I would have expected a statement like that to be like you know, something attached to like a hobby or some sort of avocation that but maybe operating basic industrial machinery is what Ashley does in her free time. Oh, well, I'm sorry. The news was bound to break sooner or later. It was a good run while it lasted, though. Be seeing ya. Yeah, for... I've been that way with most of my, most of my internet acronyms. Like, oh, cool, I found a bass in the sewer. I guess I'm gonna eat that. Delicious. Like FAQ. It took me a long time to get around to saying FAQ. Where am I? Oh, this is what I'm trying to do over here. Yeah, SNES is a very strange thing for me to hear, and feels like somebody's playing a joke on me if I say it. What am I supposed to do? Oh, here we go.
Ahí están.
All right. Welcome, Ark. So yeah, so I was able to handle the Ashley in the garbage dump protection sequence by shooting rockets everywhere except at her, and it worked. She's alive, and everything is dead. Oh god. So I would love to be able to wrap up this chapter before we're done for the night. Let me hold on one second. I'm actually going to look this one up. Let's see. And I cannot see chat while this is happening. Okay, RE4R panel puzzle garbage room. Show me a picture of what it looks like. Show me a picture at resolution. Oh my god, that is not the solution. Okay, good. There we go. Good.
Good stuff, stranger.
All right.
Interest you in?
So
Come back.
let's do this. I have enough gems. I can do this. Let's put that fellow there. Right here. Right there. Good. And we'll
Anytime.
sell those.
Stranger. Ooh, I'll pay a pretty penny for that. Try that on for size. Anything else I can help? Don't get yourself
Actually,
killed.
no, that's not a bad idea, Ark. I think that that would be cool. Well, funnily enough, Ashley does know how to use industrial equipment. She is a fine Resident Evil protagonist. Knows her way around a dockyard right off the bat.
Leon! Look,
That the lift?
if we could do something about this wall.
A wrecking ball.
Leon's two brain cells are
This.
putting it together.
You're serious?
I do not. That'll be a good thing to try.
Is this what they teach kids in school these days?
Have you never heard of driver's ed?
All right, so this is banter, I know, but seriously, how does she know how to do this? It's the alarm. Somebody's hammering the wall again.
Leon!
Leave our friends to me.
Oh, that's great. Your point is well made, Ark. That did it. But I was also really looking forward to killing a bunch of dudes with this, so I kind of want to do it again. I mean, now that we know that we can do it, I want to, especially the pig-headed guys.
Skills?
My heart yearns for this revenge. Yeah, I wonder if, because I remember even after Ashley knocked down the wall in my first playthrough, that they still kept coming. But maybe that was just the end of a phase.
One more time.
That's who I'm looking for. Right in the bread basket. Man. So that piece of construction equipment can, in fact, take a direct rocket launcher with no damage.
If you all want to beat in that bad,
I mean, Ark, never underestimate the value of a symbol of strength in a fight. I love this rocket launcher shootout.
these people don't learn.
on, I want all of you to hop down so I can get treasure. No victory without a pratfall. Wow, that's a lot of pocket change.
Did you see me? That was awesome.
I think you might have found your calling.
Yes, Ashley, you were definitely the most awesome one of us. Ashley's next step as a secret agent is to learn how to use rocket foo, I guess, like gun foo, but with a rocket launcher. Echo Vierto? Do you mean the lines that they're saying? The Wandering Dead? What is this? Incubation lab. It's the incubation lab where, yeah, that's in there. So I guess I would need to go back for that? I guess now's the time to backtrack, huh? Wait, unless there's, No, I can't, can only go forward from here, so I must be able to backtrack. Oh, that's right. That will be a fine challenge to start the next stream on, because I think that's... Once I,
I was thinking.
I guess so.
Leon...
Right?
it's just slowly directing that rocket launcher. Don't distract him, Ashley. He's...
Protect the rest from any and all threats.
Is that right? Well, either way, first we have to make it out of here.
Huh.
You're no fun.
Weird. There we go. Problem solved.
Sadler.
Oh!
You bastard.
Well, shoot, I didn't know I'd missed a cutscene. I thought I was just skipping a chatty moment. That is a powerful ladder. That's right. I mean, this is kind of a comfort rocket launcher at this point, right? Do I need to fire 10 rounds randomly into the sky? No, but this isn't about... It's about need. It's about feeling good. Oh, nifty. I think I missed this the first time through.
You've done well to make it this far, rookie. I've prepared a battlefield up ahead.
That's right.
Just for us soldiers. Watered by the blood of generations, hundreds of years. It's the perfect place.
Oh, wow. It is much later than I thought it was.
2 years ago.
That's... Alright. If I can find a safe spot. My... Oh. Any, looking for a typewriter here, but maybe I will just have to make do with the autosave.
Take a look. Something's bound to catch your
There we go.
Welcome. Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll want the exclusive for this.
That is a top notch. That's good work. If I don't get yourself killed now.
All right. So, and time does fly when you're RPGing zombies. It's can count the minutes with the beating of my rocket launcher heart. But well, like I said, Leon's coming back with fish and eggs. He's got it's a protein trip. So yeah, I guess this is a good circular place to end it on. It started at a Krauser fight, and we're gonna end right before a Krauser fight. So we'll pick up with that next week. So Shogi, awesome to see you again, and we should hang out soon. And Ark, it's awesome to see you again also. And everybody who showed up in chat, who might have fallen silent and is kind of hanging around, it's a pleasure to speak with you always. You make my week much, much better by your presence, and I hope you all have a good night. Where's that? There we go. Oh, I only went about 24 minutes over. I guess I just started late. Anyway, good night.